Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, Slippery Rock University acting head women's basketball coach, Chenara Wilson. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for coming on our show. First winning season, I did not know this, in 21 years. Quite an accomplishment. You sweep the two sets against IUP, longtime nemesis, after a 15-year drought against the Crimson Hawks. But let's go back to the beginning. I know the end of the season was tough for you. You lost to Clarion that knocked you out of the PSAC playoffs. But acting coach following the sudden death of head coach Bobby McGraw. So I need to ask you, when you were told you were going to take over, what was the first order of business for you?
Anything. The first order of business for us was the girls. I needed to make sure they were okay. That's tragic to have someone who you've been with for a while. Freshmen a little different, but some of these young ladies have been with him for years, so that's all they knew. Luckily, I was there with them. So we kind of was able to be there for each other.
So how, when you're the head coach, I know you throw the acting out, you're now the head coach. At what point did you become comfortable with saying, this is what I have to do, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to coach?
So just to clarify, we haven't clarified the head coaching position yet. They are actually going to open the position up to do interviews for the position. So I currently am still the acting head coach, but like I said, my first order of business was the young ladies and making sure that they were okay before even thinking about basketball.
So you're going to apply for this, but you have to apply for this position again to be
Yes.
the full-time head coach. Well, I think you have a lot going for you. The first winning season in 21 years under the circumstances, I think is just amazing. 15 wins. Let's look at some of your players, your leaders, because they made our spotlight in a lot of your games. You had three girls that did a lot of your scoring. Dalia Gibson, 17 points a game, and she had 54 3-pointers. And then sisters Isabella Middleton, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and sister Kennedy Middleton with 12 points and 8 rebounds a game. That seemed to be the core of the strength of your team.
Yes. So all of these young ladies were returners, which again, I knew they were going to be big for us just from having them, in the past seasons. So I knew they would lead us in a positive direction. Like I said, with we had 11 returners. So that was kind of beneficial for us. But, still having to be in that leadership role, like I said, with losing a head coach and somebody stepping in new, you have to adapt to change, So with me knowing them already and them being able to kind of help others adjust, I knew we would be okay.
Now, did you keep the same offensive system that Coach McGraw had, or did you tweak it a little bit?
So yeah, we definitely made some changes, which I let them know from the beginning that would be taking place just because of personnel that we had. Obviously, last year's dynamics was completely different than this year's dynamics. Losing Jemiah Johnson, who was a key post player for us, I knew I had to kind of. Last year we focused more on getting her the ball. So with knowing that we were heavy, guard oriented, I knew I had to kind of go in that direction.
Yeah, not only did you have the Middleton sisters, you had a set of twins on your team too, Emily and Kaylin Venick. You do not often hear of such a situation.
With two sets of sisters, I know it was
Yes.
very, very crazy.
Well, I guess the question, 15 and 13, who's coming back next year? What does next year look like? And what does recruiting look like?
So Recruiting right now is kind of hard because I'm in a situation where
You're in limbo.
kids, yeah, I don't know. Um, so you want to be fair and honest to kids. Um, so when they ask the question, hey coach, are you gonna be here for sure, or is that how long? Will we know? And I'm kind of just like, I don't know. So I mean, I'm sure I've missed out on some opportunities simply because kids don't know, you know. So we're holding on to as many as we can until we know the final say. But right now, we should have just about everybody coming back. We're losing, obviously, only two seniors. But then you have a lot of young ladies who are able to graduate because of COVID year. Um, and they're just done with school. So when I have exit meetings in a week or so, I'll get a better idea of where I am with that.
So
Returners anyway.
you lose Gibson and Isabella Middleton, correct?
Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy. Okay, so Isabella's back. There's a 17-point scorer back, and then you have the twins and some younger players. Let me ask you. I'm hearing this. I'm a little bit surprised. I know about the transfer portal at Division I. I'm hearing it now. It's trickled down into Division II, where athletes, football, basketball, men, women, are also entering the transfer portal. I'm a little bit surprised about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more common nowadays, and it's just a matter of I think kids are kind of social media has played a big part of this whole basketball world. Obviously, when I played, social media wasn't a thing. Um, so you went to school, you got your education, and you know, got in where you fit in. Whereas now, I think people forget that it's not a necessity that, or not, you think about South Carolinas and UConns, some of those programs or freshmen, sophomores don't see the floor until they're juniors or seniors. And they're okay with that because they know I have to wait my turn. So I think we've gotten away from that. So you do run into a lot of kids who are running to the transfer portal, or they could be simply going because coach changes. I was told by Isabella that she would be leaving and entering the transfer portal if I did not get the job. So I mean, it's definitely it's an option.
Right. And do you have any players coming to the Rock and through the transfer portal and have contacted you? Are you allowed to
Um,
even talk about that?
uh, so we've had a couple of we're more on the JUCO kid right now. Um, just because seasons are just ending, you don't have a lot of kids in the transfer portal yet. But I would say give it a week or so, and once these seasons starts wrapping up, you'll see more and more kids in the portal.
So, Coach, when does this interview process start?
So as far as I know, the position should be opening up soon. Um, but I'm not sure, it has to be posted X amount of days. Um, so I don't know how long the process could take.
Well, let's hope it's resolved as soon as possible because the high school seasons will be coming to an end here in March with the state playoffs, and you're going to have a lot of girls, seniors, looking to make their decisions. Coach, you got my vote, but you did an amazing taking over the job
Thank
after
you. I
Bobby
appreciate that.
McCraw's passing, and you win 15 games, first winning season in 21 years. That should go a long way in helping you become the permanent head coach at the Rock. I want to thank you for taking your time and joining us. Congratulations on a winning season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Coach. I'll be right back with Ellen George.
Some companies will tell you they have the best customer service. No, I'm sorry. That's not a part of our policy. We can't really help you there.
Some companies will tell you they have the best technical support.
Yeah, let me just put you on with somebody from technical support right now. Please hold. Technical support, how can I help you?
Some companies will tell you that your call is very important. Only Armstrong provides you with the customer service you deserve.
How do you choose the smart home and security system that's right for your family? The answer is Guardian Protection, a fully integrated system so that all your smart home and security devices work together, like smart locks, smart lights, doorbell cameras, video cameras, and more. And with advanced artificial intelligence technology, Guardian Protection creates a smarter, safer home for you, all controlled from one single app. The right choice for your family.
I am back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left the Tiger Albert Campman. Going to spotlight, guys. Let's go to wrestling. WPIL Northern Sectional Champs individuals. Butler freshman Santino Sloboda at 107-pound champion. He's 34-0. Seneca Valley Jr. Cannon Smith. He's 25-6. He won the 114-pound championship. Seneca Valley Senior Tyler Chappell, 27-5, 127-pound champ. Pine Richlands Anthony Ferraro, 133-pound champ. Nathan Monteparte of North Allegheny, 139-pound champion. Adam Rohan of North Allegheny, 160 pounds. Sophomore Vaughn Spencer, Pine Richland, undefeated, 21-0, 189 class champion. And Joey Shank, Pine Richland, 285-pound class champion. The WPL finals this weekend at Cannon Macmillan.
One of the greatest times for me with regard to wrestling is seeing these undefeated guys trying to win a state championship.
Yes.
Because they don't realize how great Pennsylvania wrestling is.
Absolutely.
You know, you get through it undefeated, then you know you're going Penn State, Iowa, one of those places. Because there are wrestlers across the state that are amazing.
And those schools start looking at those kids when they're freshmen and sophomores right away. And Butler's
summer, they know where they're on.
Yeah, absolutely. Butler's Anna Malovich, 112 pounds. She won the Western Pennsylvania Girls Wrestling Championship. There are now 14 schools in Western Pennsylvania that have girls-only wrestling, and more to come pretty soon. I just think just about all of them will eventually. And swimming, diving, how about this girl? She was on last year. We had her on, senior Maggie Foley of North Catholic. She won her fourth straight WPIL 2A division title. Seneca Valley's Isaiah Clerkley, he won the boys 3A diving title. He's been #1 rated diver in 3A all season long. And in Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Bowling League Championship, Freeport senior bowler Julia Cummings, she won the individual championship. Indoor track, Western PA Indoor Track and Field Championship at Edinburgh University. Butler's Drew Griffin, he won the mile. He's a top miler in the state. And Butler's Megan Bajetta, she won the triple jump. The North Allegheny boys and girls, they won the team championships. And boys basketball, top scorers, Dylan Gordon of Slippery Rock High School, 24, in an 88-83 playoff loss to Warren. Andrew Matalone, North Catholic, he had 22 in a 53-41 win over Montour. And he also had 25 in a playoff win over Laurel Highlands. That was a big win for them. Max Hurry had 23. They'll now play Lincoln Park for the championship. Their only two section losses were to Lincoln Park. Tasso Stefanos Mars 22 in a 60-41 playoff loss to Penn Hills. And for also for boys, Newcastle routed Mount Lebanon 58-42. Jonathan Anderson 16, Isaiah Boyce with 16, and Central Catholic 65-41 over Upper St. Clair. So the Canes and the Vikings will meet for the third time this year. They split during the regular season.
Yeah, each one won at the other one's place also.
So how do we see this championship game? You have a team that's quick and fast with Newcastle and some huge size advantage for Central.
And that's what it'll come down to. Who can they keep them off the boards? I talked to Ralph about that. Can they keep them off the boards? And they do, they'll win.
Yeah, still stinging from last year was Newcastle's 1-point loss to Laurel Highlands in that championship game that ended on a controversial call. In 4A semis for the girls, North Catholic 63, Highlands 45, Elena Rocca with 19. Next up, 4A championship against Blackhawk. Both these teams, I think, with identical records of 21-3.
It's one of the better games in the.
It'll be, without question.
Game, yeah.
And in 5A, Mars 38, Hampton 36. That puts them into the PIAA playoffs. And in 6A girls, North Allegheny down by 10, rallied to defeat Norwin 38-36. Jasmine Timmerman had 12 points. Next up, they'll take on Upper St. Clair for the championship.
Those are old school scores.
Yeah.
38-36.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's like the old days.
You think that's old? How about District 9 3A championship? Carn City 28, Kane 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And in District 9 2A semis, Montauk 50, Coudersport 38. Next up, they will take on Red Bank Valley for the championship. So a lot of outstanding games coming up here. Exciting games for all these kids.
Well, the 6A championship, what it tells me is, I've been saying it forever, that the 6 classification stinks. I don't like to see, like, there's teams in 5A that should be playing 6A for championship.
Yeah,
you're not getting the best teams playing.
Penn Hills.
You game 3.
Penn Hills, North Hills.
Who would be 6A.
Absolutely.
And then it'll be a great tournament. As you understand, Upper St. Clair and Mount Lebanon have no chance to beat Central Catholic and Newcastle. Those scores shouldn't be like that when you play a champion.
Not that far along. You should not have 20-point wins in the semifinal.
I think North Hills should have stayed in 6A instead of going down to 5A.
Probably easier.
Would have been easier. I agree with you. Also, let's go to college basketball. The BC3 men and women, they win Western Pennsylvania Community College titles. The women, 18-5, got 28 points from Ashland Pry in a 72-42 win over Westmoreland Community College. And the men led by Derek Anderson's 28 points. They defeated Highlands Community College 91-62. BC3 coach Joe Lewandowski named Coach of the Year. Now it's on the regional play for both of them.
Joe likes
talking. I think he's in North Carolina this week.
Yeah, they end up
bringing in good players is the key to winning games. And I'm serious.
I'm not joking. They're from. You'd read their rosters. They're from all over the place.
That's what Joe's done. It's okay. I'll go this place and bring in good players, and he could always coach. So you had good coaching, good players.
He brought a couple guys with him from Point Park. Got him started.
All right, let's go to our stories of the week. College basketball. Pitt 21-8, 14-4. They rout Syracuse on senior night, a sellout, 99-82. Pitt is 2 wins away from their first ever ACC regular season title. They're at Notre Dame and at Miami. Win both, they get a double bye in the tournament.
Yeah, they finally hit the top 25 too.
Top 25. Yeah.
Think about that.
That's not right.
That's amazing. And
you're winning the ACC.
And it takes that long.
You should be ranked. Then
if their name was North Carolina, would have been there.
Yeah.
If their name was Duke, they'd have been in there.
Oh, my God, they'd be number one. And you know what hurts is they better watch Notre Dame. I watched them almost beat Carolina last week. And then that last game at Miami, if they lose it, they're tied. Miami gets it because they beat them twice.
Yeah, Miami blew a 23-point lead against Florida State.
Oh, my God.
You mentioned about Notre Dame. They're 1-8. They in 5-point or less losses. 3 games they've lost by 1 point. So I think Pitt's going to win, but like you said, they need to be careful.
I wouldn't be sure.
Hey, Purdue lost again. What's going on there? They're having trouble scoring.
Can't shoot.
They can't shoot from the outside is right. The only force they have is Edie on the inside.
Yeah, people have double and triple team him, making somebody else shoot the basketball. And also their defense is letting up a little bit right now, too. They were so great defensively. When your offense doesn't score, it affects every part of your game.
Hey, they haven't been in the Final Four for 40 years. They've been in 30-some tournaments and have yet to make the Final Four.
Since Rick Mount?
Well, not quite that long, but you're getting there.
Yeah. Hey, Iowa stuns Michigan State. How about this? They scored 23 points in 90 seconds. I mean, how does that happen?
That's I'm a big Tom Izzo guy, but he deserves to lose when he's let them shoot. Foul. If you give him 2 points, they gave him 7 threes in a row.
Yeah.
Like Tom.
At some point. And then he says, I never considered it. Did you consider losing? Because you did.
We remember we did that game between Butler and Seneca Valley where Butler was down by 3 and they had the ball, the last 9-10 seconds. And we said, Nathan Snodgrass, they're going to foul him at midcourt. They let him alone.
Oh, no.
He canned a 3 from half court. went into overtime. Butler won, made the playoffs, knocked Seneca Valley
I
out.
counted 15 games last weekend, not during the week, that somebody gave a 3 within 8 seconds to tie the game
And as
up.
I said, they saw a game in 1987 where a guy tipped his back,
Yes.
and they're still talking about it. Play the odds. The
It's
little
so
girl,
simple.
7th graders make that 3.
Always.
Hey, I have to mention this story. Sister Jean, Loyola Chicago chaplain, she turned 103. She has a book coming out,
Yeah, I saw that.
memoir. What I learned my first 100 years. You're like this. She said, "What do you do before the game?" She says, "I pray for both teams, but it's not as much for the other one."
Absolutely. She's rooting for Loyola.
I used to do the same thing for my team.
I this story here, number 2 Alabama star player Brandon Miller, he delivers a gun to a teammate
He did what?
in the murder of a
Tell him not to get
24-year-old.
Was he late for class, Ed?
No,
He
He
didn't
delivered what, Eddie?
he delivered a gun.
Oh,
And
jeez.
to a teammate, Darius Miles, who got in a gun battle, shot and killed a 24-year-old mother of 5. And the other player on the team, Michael Davis, also charged with murder in this. Tuscaloosa District Attorney Paul Whitley said he can find nothing to charge Miller with. Some people are asking, why didn't he say, "What do you need a gun for? And I'm not delivering you a gun." And then
Oh
there's
my
been
gosh.
criticism of the athletic department and coach. I saw this, Nate Oates. He kind of made a flippant remark. He was just at the wrong place
Yeah,
at
well,
the
he-
wrong time.
He
Come
had
on,
a-
coach.
No. There's clueless, then there's that. Then, wait a minute. You see how he trumped it on Saturday.
I did not
They
see that.
patted him down before
Yeah,
the
they
game.
patted him down.
I
coming
don't
out.
care if they did it every
And
game
he
or
said
not.
he didn't know anything about it. The
That's
coach.
what he said. He said, I didn't see it. I was drawing plays.
Now,
Maybe
allegedly,
you should have seen it, Coach.
allegedly, he called Ray Lewis for advice. No,
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh,
Allegedly,
my.
he called Ray Lewis for
I
advice
just know
on this.
that George and I have talked about this over and
Yeah.
over. If somebody called you, Eddie, and say, "Eddie,
I need you
I
guys.
need your gun."
Why do you need it for?
Isn't that your first
What do you
question?
need
What's
it
your first question?
What do you need it
Who
for?
you shooting?
Are you
Yeah.
going rabbit hunting?
Yeah.
That's what I said. What's
Well,
going on?
and when
here?
they played at South Carolina, you heard the chants.
Oh, sure.
Lock him up, lock him
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So now he has said he's done after this season. He's not even going to, when the season's over,
No.
he's out of that
Oh, that was-
campus. He's
oh,
turning
yeah.
pro.
He was doing that anyway. He was out the gun part.
Yeah.
He was.
So-
He's in the top 5 picks.
No, wait a minute. I watch a lot of cop shows. He's not an accessory in any way. He brought it and hid it under the gym clothes so the kid could get it. What do you mean he didn't? There's nothing you can charge him with. Nothing.
How many other universities have said, "Sorry, you're done. You're not playing
Well,
anymore"?
if he's the best player, no, they all would do the same thing. But
Yeah.
that's the problem
Isn't that a
because
shame?
he's the best player.
Isn't that a shame?
If that was
Wait
a
a
kid
minute.
like the 13th man, Saban did it. At
Yeah.
Alabama, 2
Yeah.
kids in the car,
Yeah.
one was a starter, one got caught, and the other kid playing.
Oh, I think that's like the Steelers, Ernie Holmes
Same thing.
shooting at a helicopter.
Yeah,
but
okay.
someone else had a joint. It was
Hey, he missed.
Gone. He's out of
No,
here.
No, tickets Saturday, their last games at A&M, $400 cheap ones. We've lost our way.
Yes.
We
In other
have.
words,
We have.
If you could bench him for being late to class, you got to do something.
You
for
know,
them.
we always said the sordid side of college basketball. Now we're seeing it.
It's even worse.
It's even worse today.
Money. Hey, it's all about. They're on the one line.
It
They
is.
don't want to leave the one line.
Let's turn to the Pens. They snap a 4-game losing streak with wins over St. Louis and Tampa Bay after an embarrassing rout.
That was the best thing that happened
lost
to
at Edmonton. Yes.
Best, no doubt in my mind that I've been there in sports, that they hit bottom. And that I guarantee they had a team meeting and said, "Wait a minute, hey guys."
No, but still,
Yes.
they've lost 9 straight in the Metro. They're 29, 21, and 9 with 23 to play. They waived Kasperi Kapanen. So much was expected of him. Never lived up to his potential. Now you ask the question, should they be sellers more than buyers? You see what the Rangers did. They picked up 3 players. Man, have they increased their potential to win the whole thing. Hextall, I give him credit for keeping Cosby, Malkin, and Letang. However, 2 years ago when he took over, he said, we're going to get bigger and more physical. It hasn't happened.
I think they tried to, but the players they got who physical couldn't play. And, you know, if you're going to get physical, you got to get players who can play. But they're still dangerous. I wouldn't give in on the Penguins. This is about the time we sit here and talk all year that they start getting better. And when with about 10, 15 games to go, and they get into the playoffs. People say,
They're trying to catch a team that they've always had trouble with, the Highlanders. And you want to know why their season is the way it is? Let's look at the goal differential. They've scored 192, given up 190. The top 3 teams in the Metro, their goal differential is anywhere from 40 to 50.
That's because
you see it all there.
They're not good defensively,
No, they're not.
That's all.
And all the blame gets on the goalie, but he doesn't get any help.
You get 35, 40 shots to stop it. Some of them are going to get through.
And so if you stop 36 of them, but you give up 4, it seems like you had a bad night. You have to stop them all. Hey, Major League Baseball, here we go. Pitch clock. Good idea. They say it's knocking 20 minutes off the game.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that. They weren't really one. I think they should take warm-ups away from pitchers. Like I tell them in the dugout.
They throw 52 in the
No,
bullpen.
as I said, you throw 7,
8 more in the mound.
Does the basketball coach say, whoa, we got a guy coming in, let him take 7 shots before he shoots? He's warmed up 50 times, and also between innings, they got things in the runway. They got pitchers' mounds down there. Tell the guy before they put him out for the mound, we're throwing your 5 pitches down here. There's ways they could take time off the game.
I will 232 now.
I will agree. I like the pitch.
232
pitch clock.
No, it's going to go down. That proved that was data driven by the minor league.
Now they have bigger bases.
I don't get that one.
They look like dinner plates for King Kong.
I don't get
They're
that
so
one.
big. And then how about this coming to AAA? A robo umpires. Here it comes.
The Pirates played the last inning yesterday without out.
Well, here you go. Good. Hey, now the Pirates and Brian Reynolds, Nutting says he'd like to give him $100 million, which means he's not going to give him $100 million. Reynolds wants 8 years, $134 million. You know, this is just a joke, and I hear people saying, "Oh, I think they could win 70 games this year." Is this where we've come with expectations?
Yeah,
they could win 70 games. This is it.
That's how bad it is.
And we're supposed to get excited about that.
No.
Now they're putting in a big jumbo scoreboard, and they made a lot of money last year, the Pirates, but they're not going to spend any.
They don't spend any. That's just a fact.
Finish with the Steelers. They have 3 picks, first 50, 17, 32, and 49. Omar Khan's first draft, and there are all kinds of, some say they should take Joey Porter. Others say he won't be there. Others are saying they need one of the top offensive linemen out there.
Yeah, I'm hoping they go defensive lineman. I want them to get a defensive lineman. People are running the ball down their throat. They're running the ball down their throat. I think there's a couple Clemson guys I think are really good.
And let me finish. And when we get to that part, when they come to the draft, we're going to have all players, but more on the Chiefs. Not only did the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, they did so with the most first and second year players. And how about this? The team owner and CEO, Clark Hunt, he's only worth $15 billion. You think they can afford some of these big contracts?
I believe.
They kept Mahomes. That's all they did.
That's it for us. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.
Armstrong has a long history of fighting food insecurity in our communities through Breaking Bread events. Here's how you can help. Armstrong is celebrating Breaking Bread Day on Wednesday, March 8th. Visit your local Armstrong store to be part of the celebration. Drop off a non-perishable food donation and receive a special gift. Scan the QR code to find out more information. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/breakingbread to find a list of community feeding programs in your area.